Hello, everyone. Welcome to our combined science class. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of biology, where we'll explore how living things are made up of tiny building blocks called cells. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify, draw, and understand the functions of some amazing specialized cells. Let's get started. Did you know that animals and plants have cells that are specially designed to do specific jobs? These are called specialized cells. For example, in your body, red blood cells carry oxygen, and in plants, root hair cells help absorb water. Even though single-celled organisms like bacteria don't need specialized cells, larger organisms like us do. Let's look at some examples. Let's start with red blood cells. These are the tiny cells in your blood that carry oxygen from your lungs to the rest of your body. They're shaped like a donut with a flat middle. This is called a biconcave shape. This shape helps them carry more oxygen and squeeze through tiny blood vessels. Fun fact: red blood cells don't have a nucleus, which makes more room for hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen. That's why they're so good at their job. Here's a diagram to show you what they look like. That little picture shows a diagram of red blood cells, biconcave shape. Example: think of red blood cells like delivery trucks. They pick up oxygen in the lungs and drop it off wherever it's needed in the body. Next, let's talk about palisade cells. These are found in the leaves of plants, right at the top where they can get the most sunlight. Their job is to absorb light for photosynthesis, the process plants use to make food. Palisade cells are tall and packed with chloroplasts, which contain a green pigment called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs sunlight, just like solar panels. Here's what they look like under a microscope. The picture provided shows a diagram of palisade cells with chloroplasts. Example: imagine palisade cells as solar panels on a roof. They're perfectly positioned to catch as much sunlight as possible. Now let's look at muscle cells. These cells are all about movement, whether it's running, jumping, or even just breathing. Muscle cells are long and elastic, which allows them to contract and relax. They're packed with mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell, because movement requires a lot of energy. Here's a diagram to show you their structure. The illustration provided shows a diagram of muscle cells. Think of muscle cells like rubber bands. They stretch and contract to help you move. Finally, let's talk about root hair cells. These are found in the roots of plants, and their job is to absorb water and minerals from the soil. They have long, thin extensions that increase their surface area, making it easier to absorb water. Inside, they have a lot of mitochondria to provide energy for absorbing minerals. Here's what they look like. The attached diagram shows a diagram of root hair cells. Imagine root hair cells like straws. They suck up water and nutrients from the soil to feed the plant.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'll share what I observed during activity 1 using the microscope. I looked at 3 types of specialized cells: mammalian red blood cells, plant root hair cells, and nerve cells. Let me walk you through my process and what I saw. Step 1. Microscope setup. First, I set up the microscope. I turned on the light, cleaned the lenses with lens paper, and started with the lowest magnification, 4x. This helped me find the cells quickly, without missing anything. Remember, always start low. It's easier to navigate. Slide A. Mammalian red blood cells. Starting with slide A, red blood cells. At 40x magnification, I saw hundreds of tiny, round cells packed together. They looked like little discs. The coolest part?
No nucleus.
This makes sense because mammalian red blood cells need more space to carry oxygen. I labeled the cell membrane and cytoplasm, but no nucleus, because it's not there. These cells are biconcave, slightly indented in the middle. This shape helps them bend through tiny blood vessels. Science is so smart. Slide B. Plant root hair cells. Next, slide B. Plant root hair cells. These looked totally different. Under 40x, I saw long, thin hairs stretching out from the main cell. The cell wall was super clear, like a thick outline. Inside, there was a huge vacuole taking up most of the space, and I spotted the nucleus near the edge. Root hairs are elongated to maximize water absorption from soil. The big vacuole stores water, and the cell wall keeps it sturdy. Plants are geniuses at survival. Slide C. Nerve cells, neurons. Finally, slide C. Nerve cells. I used 10x magnification here because neurons are long and branched. The cell body had a dark spot, the nucleus, and tons of branches. The shorter ones are dendrites, they receive signals, and the super long one is the axon. It sends signals out. I even saw tiny gaps between cells. Those are synapses, where signals jump. Neurons are like the body's wiring system. Without them, we couldn't move or think. Conclusion and key takeaways. So, to summarize, red blood cells are tiny, round, and lack nuclei to carry oxygen. Root hairs stretch out to absorb water, with vacuoles for storage. Neurons have long axons and dendrites to send messages. Remember, structure matches function. These cells are specialized for their jobs. Oh, and pro tip, always use fine focus at 40x to avoid crashing the lens into the slide. I learned that the hard way. Thanks for listening. Can't wait to hear what you all observe.
Let's recap what we've learned today. Specialized cells have unique structures that help them perform specific functions. Red blood cells carry oxygen, palisade cells absorb light, muscle cells help us move, and root hair cells absorb water and minerals. Understanding these cells helps us see how amazing living things are. Great job, everyone! That's it for today's lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Don't forget to check out the virtual classroom for more resources and activities. Thanks for learning with me today. See you next time. Bye.